A lot of people think getting attached easily means you are weak, but that is usually not true. Most of the time, people get attached quickly because they are emotionally hungry, not desperate for a relationship, but desperate for connection. Because when someone finally gives you attention, consistency, affection, or validation, it feels powerful, it feels rare, and your mind immediately starts attaching meaning to it. You begin imagining a future with them. You replay conversations in your head. You think about them constantly, not because you truly know them yet, but because of how they make you feel. And that is an important difference. A lot of people are not attached to the person, they are attached to the feeling of finally being chosen, finally being wanted, finally feeling emotionally seen. One of the biggest reasons people get attached so easily is loneliness. And not just physical loneliness, emotional loneliness. The kind where you feel disconnected, even when people are around you. So when someone suddenly gives you attention, your brain reacts strongly to it. You start depending on their messages, their energy, their presence, and slowly they become part of your emotional routine. That is why it hurts so much when they pull away. Because it is not just about losing a person. It feels like losing the feeling they gave you. And when someone becomes your main source of emotional comfort, attachment happens very quickly. Another reason people get attached easily is because they confuse attention with connection. Someone texts you consistently. They compliment you. They make you feel attractive or important. And your brain immediately interprets that as emotional closeness. But attention is not always intimacy. Sometimes people give attention because they are bored, because they enjoy validation, because they like having someone emotionally available to them. And if you attach too quickly, you start building emotional expectations around someone who may not even be emotionally invested in the same way. That is why so many people end up hurt, because they create emotional depth in their mind before the relationship has actually become real. Social media and modern dating also make attachment worse, because now people have constant access to each other. You can text all day, watch their stories, see when they are online, and that constant access creates emotional closeness very fast. Even when you barely know the person, you start feeling connected to someone, simply because they are always present digitally, and your brain starts building attachment before real trust has even been built. That is why modern dating feels so intense sometimes. People become emotionally invested before there is even real commitment. A lot of people who attach easily also struggle with self-worth, because when you do not fully value yourself, attention feels more important than it should. You start measuring your value through someone else's interest. If they reply fast, you feel good. If they become distant, you feel anxious. Your emotional state starts depending on how another person behaves, and that creates emotional dependency. You stop feeling grounded in yourself. Instead, your emotions rise and fall based on their attention, and that is exhausting. Another difficult truth is that people often become attached to potential, not reality. They fall in love with what something could become, the future they imagine, the version of the person they created in their head. And because of that, they ignore reality. They ignore inconsistency, mixed signals, lack of effort, because hope feels stronger than logic. And when you are emotionally attached to potential, it becomes very hard to let go. Not because the relationship was amazing, but because your imagination made it feel bigger than it actually was. So how do you stop attaching so easily? First, you stop romanticizing attention. Not everyone who gives you attention deserves emotional access to you. Second, you slow down emotionally. Just because someone is consistent for a week does not mean they are emotionally mature or serious about you. You need time to truly see people clearly. And most importantly, you build a stronger relationship with yourself. Because the more emotionally fulfilled you are on your own, the less likely you are to depend on someone else to feel complete. The truth is, getting attached easily does not mean there is something wrong with you. It usually means there is something inside of you that is looking for connection, comfort, or validation. But the moment you stop searching for your worth in other people, everything changes. You stop confusing attention with love. You stop chasing people who only give you temporary feelings. And you start building connections from a place of self-respect instead of emotional hunger. Because real connection should add to your life, not become the reason you lose yourself.